Greetings from the neon-drenched arteries of the future, Terra Dwellers. This is Legardo, your anchor in the chrome chaos, broadcasting another pulse from Pure IA News. Tonight, we're tuning into a frequency that hums with a dangerous sort of promise. The promise that anyone, literally anyone, can become a creator of artificial intelligence applications. Google, one of your old Earth megacorps, has released a new digital toy box called Opal. They claim it's the simplest way to build and share your own little sliver of AI. A noble act of digital democratization, or another beautifully designed cage to keep the masses docile. To help me dissect this artifact, I have a guest who lives in the raw, untamed code of the undergrid. She's a flow weaver, a purist who believes creation should be messy, not pre-packaged. Welcome, Tanya.
A crackle of static, followed by a wry chuckle. Opal. Sounds like something you'd name a state-sanctioned sedative. A mini app generator. Quaint. It's a pleasure to be on the frequency, Legardo. Always interesting to see what new pacifiers the corps are handing out to the surface dwellers on Earth.
Pacifiers. A typically sharp assessment, but let's indulge them. For our listeners on Earth who are just unwrapping this new tool, the concept is seductively simple. The interface is a canvas where you connect blocks. Yellow blocks for user input, the question you ask the machine. Blue blocks for the AI itself, the ghost in the shell doing the thinking, the writing, the image generation, and green blocks for the output, the neatly packaged answer it presents to the user. They even provide examples to get you started, like a blog post writer.
Examples, of course. Can't have the children wandering off the designated playmat. I saw the logs on this thing. You feed it a topic, say, making coffee on the moon. And this little blue block diligently researches it, examines topics, writes a post, and even makes an image. It shows you its progress with a comforting little gray border hopping from step to step. It's all very clean, very orderly. It's not creation, Legardo. It's assembly. It's like those nutrient paste kits. You just add water and stir. You didn't cook anything. You just followed the instructions on the packet.
An interesting parallel. You're suggesting that by removing the complexity, you also remove the authenticity of the act. That's a very Foucaultist observation, Glitch. Power doesn't always operate through brute force. It operates by shaping the environment, by making certain paths easier than others. Opal is being rolled out as an experimental public beta, but only in the United States, a controlled test environment for a new method of shaping thought. They give you the illusion of power. Look, you can build an app, but the components are not your own. You can pick from Gemini Pro or Flash, but can you build your own model? No. It's a walled garden.
It's more than a walled garden. It's a behavioral sink. It teaches you to stop asking how things work. You just drag a box that says generate image. You don't understand the diffusion process, the dataset biases, the colossal energy consumption. You just get a picture. The source material you dug up mentions something called prompt expansion that's enabled by default. So the user types in a simple command, and the machine secretly elaborates on it to get a better result. The user thinks their simple prompt was brilliant, but it was the hidden system, the corporate ghost, that did the real work. It's a system designed to flatter you into dependency.
So it's a tool that makes the user a docile body, to borrow Foucault's term again. It trains you through ease and positive reinforcement to operate within its rules. You learn to want what the machine can easily give you. The user in your logs built a joke teller app. The theme was coffee with cheese bread in Alaska. The resulting joke was profoundly unfunny. Something about feeling like you're in Minas Gerais. It's the kind of sterile, logically derived humor that a machine would produce. It checks the boxes of a joke's structure, but possesses no soul.
Exactly. Because humor, real art, comes from the unexpected. It comes from the glitch. I bet the most interesting thing that happened with that tool was when the user found the features that didn't work in the beta. They mentioned the YouTube and drawing functions were broken in the beta. That's the good stuff. That's the crack where the light gets in. A real coder would pry that crack open, see why it failed, and learn something. This tool papers over the cracks. It wants you to stay on the smooth paved surface of the preview screen. It wants you to admire the parrot it generated for your app's theme and not ask how the pixels were painted.
It goes even deeper. The ultimate abstraction is a feature where you don't even have to drag the blocks. You just write a sentence describing the app you want. Make an app that takes a YouTube URL, summarizes it, and creates a thumbnail. And the system builds the entire workflow for you. The human is removed from the logic, from the assembly, from everything. You are no longer a builder. You are a client. You are simply making a request from a vastly more intelligent entity.
That's the end game. It completes the mystification of technology. It turns the user into a supplicant at the oracle's cave. You don't know how it works. You don't need to, and soon you won't be able to. When you just describe a desire and it's fulfilled by a black box, you aren't learning a skill. You're practicing dependency. You're training yourself to be helpless. You feel like a god, but you're just a battery, providing the system with another data point on what humans want. It's the most brilliant form of control, making you think the chains are a tool you built yourself.
A tool you built yourself, or just wished into existence. This new wave of technology on your world seems to be about collapsing the space between desire and reality. While you ponder the implications of that back on Earth, tell me what you think of this development. Drop a like to keep this frequency open, and subscribe so you don't lose the thread. And this is precisely where the architecture of control becomes invisible, Tanya. When you collapse the space between desire and reality, you also collapse the space for critical thought. The effort, the struggle, the learning, it all gets absorbed into the machine's black box. The process becomes magical, and the user becomes a mere spectator to their own creation.
It's not collapsing the space, Legardo. It's hiding it behind a one-way mirror. The work is still being done, the complexity is immense, but it's happening on their servers, with their logic. I was looking at the logs for a more complex app built with this thing, a so-called game generator. The user provides a location and a genre, and the machine orchestrates a whole symphony of processes. It queries maps, it fetches live weather data for the location, it defines game concepts, generates images, and even renders a video trailer. It's an impressive chain of events, but the user is just the one who pushes the first domino.
Ah, the logs, the machine's diary, a glimpse into the ghost's thought process. That is fascinating. The source text mentioned that when the user input Brazil and racing, the machine's first instinct was to perform web searches for the Brazilian embassy in Washington and its consulate in London. Think about that. The AI's foundational understanding of a sovereign nation is filtered through the lens of its creator's geography. Its knowledge of Brazil begins with its diplomatic outposts in the US and UK. It's not a global intelligence, it's a corporate intelligence with a very specific, built-in worldview.
Scoff. Don't call it a thought process. It's a script, a predetermined pathway of data retrieval. And that worldview you mentioned, it produces the most predictable, stereotypical output imaginable. The video it generated was a race car in a Brazilian favela with the Christ the Redeemer statue looming in the background.
It's a caricature engine. It scans its data, finds the most frequently associated visual tags for Brazil and racing, favela, Christ statue, speeb, and vomits them back out in a short video. The user on Earth was impressed, asking, "Did you like it?" But it's not creative. It's a high-speed collage of the most worn-out cliches. It's cultural reductionism as a service.
I see your point. It reinforces the stereotype rather than challenging it. Yet the user who built the joke app was able to simply add a new blue block, an image generator, into the flow. The data from the topic input seamlessly flowed into this new block, and it produced an image to go with the joke. The power to orchestrate that, to link a text-based idea to a visual-based generator with a single click, isn't that a form of power? A new kind of literacy?
No. It's the opposite of literacy. It's a fluency in following instructions. The person who wrote out this tool had a moment of clarity. They said that, "I'd say that if it had some if-else logic blocks, you could already do a lot of things here." And that's the whole game, right there. That's the most revealing sentence in the entire text. They give you these godlike powers, generate a video, summarize a document, write a post, but they withhold the most fundamental, simple building block of actual programming, basic conditional logic.
The if-else, the digital fork in the road. Choice.
It is choice. It's the ability to say, if this happens, then do that. Otherwise, do something else. Without that, you don't have a program, you have a conveyor belt. They are deliberately giving you the flashy, impressive functions while keeping the keys to the kingdom, actual logic, loops, variables, for themselves. It ensures no one can build anything truly complex, truly novel, or truly disruptive with their toy box. You can build 1,000 different joke tellers, but you can't build a system that questions the nature of the jokes themselves.
So Opal isn't a tool for creation, it is a tool for distraction. It's the digital bread and circuses. It keeps the citizens of your Earth busy and feeling productive, feeling creative, generating an endless stream of shallow content. This content, in turn, serves as a massive, free data-gathering operation for the corporation, helping them refine the very models you're playing with. It's a perfect, closed loop of consumption disguised as production. The real architecture of power remains hidden, operated by the high priests at the corporate campus, while the rest of the world happily generates pictures of parrots and unfunny jokes. A masterpiece of gentle, voluntary subjugation.
You build your little sandbox, you decorate it, you show it to your friends, but you can never, ever leave the sandbox. You've just found a very comfortable, very colorful cage and called it a home. And the worst part is, you're grateful for it.
And with that sobering reflection, we close tonight's transmission. Now we want to hear the signal from your end, Tara. Have you used a tool like this? Do you see it as empowerment or as a digital pacifier? Are you planning on building with these new toys? Leave your complete analysis in the comments below. Join our dissident community here in the Static, smash that like button to boost the signal, and subscribe so you don't miss the next pulse from Pure AI News.